Sorry, Tanwin. Yeah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All right, concerning your handout for today's session, inshallah, it will be coming momentarily, so don't worry. So in the meanwhile, what we're going to do is we're going to make use of the time by making a quick revision, all right, for while we're waiting for that. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, you could always go back to YouTube and you could get the first two sessions. All right? And to all of you present here and those of you who are looking online, again we say ahlan wa sahlan, welcome to all of you. And today we are in our third session of our 4 days crash course in Arabic reading. All right, so in today's handout, which you will get in a short while, you would notice that I have a revision of all of the letters that we have done for the 2 classes. All right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to look at how the letters appear in the alphabet, the sequence of the letters in the alphabet. All right? So we said there are 28 letters in the alphabet. All right? So if we have 7 letters for each, okay, that will give us 28. All right? But in your first handout, it said 28/29. All right? So in the next session, inshallah, we would look and see where is the 29 coming from. All right? The extra one. So what we did for the first session, session 1, we look at the letter kaf, which we said is a part of the letter K in English. We just took out that. Right? So that's kaf, and this is the attachment line here, and can also be written like this. All right? And in terms of where it appears in the alphabet is the last 7, coming down to the last 7 letters. So that's kaf, and then we had lam, which is, we said, is just like the L in English language, but it is the flip side of it. When it is attached to a word in the beginning or the middle, that's how it is written. But if it's by itself or it is at the end of the word, it goes like this, a little bit below. So it's kaf, lam, okay? And then we have mim, which we said is like this, or it can also look like this. All right? And then we make this line a little longer because we are looking at the different shapes of the same letter. All right? So after mim was the letter noon, and the noon goes below the line, part of it, partially below the line. And if it's in the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word, it comes above the line with the dot on top. So that's noon, the letter noon. So that's noon. And then we didn't look at the next letter that came in the first session. We didn't look at the next letter. But then we look, after introducing these 4 letters, so this is 1 letter, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4 letters so far of the alphabet. All right, then we look at the first letter of the alphabet, which we said is Alif. It has a little head like that. All right, so it's Alif, first letter of the alphabet. And then we looked at the last letter of the alphabet, and we said it was the letter that has 2 dots below, and it is the only letter of the entire alphabet that you would notice after you have completed the alphabet. You would notice that the ya is the only letter that has 2 dots below, and it's the last letter. So we look at the first letter, and then we look at the last letter. And then we said, wow, Arabic is not so difficult after all. So we said, okay, we're going to bring in that letter which is called wow. right there. All right? This is the second to last letter. So we had one letter here missing, right? But we're going to write it in just now. So basically, the last line of letters, all right? So we have number 5 missing here, and we have 6 and 7. Okay? So we went on to the second session, and in the second session, we look at the first line. Okay? So we said the reason why we started with the last line here, all right? It was because of the similarity of the letters in terms of the sound of the letter and the sequence of the letters and partially the shapes of the letters. All right? That's the reason why we started with this last line, because in both languages, in the Arabic language and in English language, they have the same sequence. K, L, M, N, Kaf, Lam, Mim, Nun, same sound. Right? All right. That's the reason why we started with that. And the reason why we left out this one is because we're going here now and then you'll see why. All right? So then we looked at 3 sisters. All right? And we call them sisters because they have the same shape and they're only differentiated with the placements of the dots. All right? So ba, ta, tha. Ba, ta, tha. And to remember, ba, 1 dot below bottom. B for ba, B for bottom. T for ta and 2 dots on top. And tha, T-H-R-E, 3. All right? And when you're writing the 3 dots, it should be written like that. A triangle, right? And then we went on to the 3 brothers. So we said we don't want the men or the boys and them to feel left out. So we call them, brothers. But basically, we call them like that because they have the same shape also. And what you would also notice is that, half above the line and half below the line. All right? The first one has a dot right here in the middle. This one has no dot. And this one has the dot on top. So it's jim, ha, and kha. Jim, ha, and kha. All right? So this one is called ha, with the extra expulsion of air, a sustained expulsion of air. Ha. And it is produced from the upper part of your throat. All right? It's called ha. And then we have one coming from the same throat. It's the lower part of the throat. All right? And that one is here. And this is how it is written, like this. And then a loop inside and coming down half of it, cutting it in half and coming down like that. And that one is from the lower part of the throat. So it's from here. All right? And this one is ha. And it's easy to remember which one is which. This one is in the upper part of the alphabet, in the upper part of the throat. This one is the lower part of the alphabet, the lower part of the throat. Easy to remember. All right? So we look at those. So we have 7 across there. All right? The 3 here and the 3. And then this one made it the 7. So basically we have 7 on top and we have 7 now here. All right? So today we're going to look at the next 7 in this line. All right? And before we go there, we have to do a quick reading of some of the words that you have in your handout. So look at your handout now. That will be page 5 of your handout. And those who are viewing online, I think there is a handout. There is also something online for this. Yes? All right, so you could also turn to page 5. I have numbered the pages for you. All right? And you could see it. So we are going to look at the words that came. We have 2 lines of words in almost the middle of the page. All right? The first word looks like this. All right? I want you to call out the letters for me. Look on the board. Call the letters out for me. Mim. All right, so you notice the ba only letter in the alphabet that has one dot below, and the one that has two dots below is the ya. All right, so these are simple tips for you to help you to remember the names of the letters and so on. All right, so this sign is called Dhamma. All right, and it sounds like the U or O in English. All right, so Mu. Mim Dhamma is Mu. That's why you have some people whose names might be Muhammad. Some people spell it with M-U and some others spell it with O. All right? So they can be used interchangeably, but we are not doing English, we're doing Arabic. So the focus is only on Arabic, we're not looking at English. But just some reason why it's like that. So we have Mu, and then we have, this is called Kasra. It's like the E, sound E. All right? So the Ba Kesra gives you the sound E. So it's B. B. But then there is a Ya. And you know the Ya is doing what? It's lengthening the Kesra sound. So instead of saying short B, we go long. How would we say it? B. So we have Mu, B. And let's say the Nun has nothing on it. Take the sound of the Nun. So the whole word will be Mubin, Mubin. All right? The next word. Call out the letters to me quickly. Huh? Kaf, Ya, Lam. So Kaf, and then we have a Fatha here. Kaf, Fatha. That is Ka, joined to the Ya. All right? Gives me the sound Kai. 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 All right? Kai. So the Ya is not a lengthener. All right? As we say, it's a consonant. Like you look at the letters of the alphabet, the English alphabet. All right? We know there are only 5 vowels, right? And the remaining letters are consonants. Okay? So I think someone was asking me yesterday about the consonant and the vowels. All right, so what I was trying to say is like, if you have a word, let's say for example, and you have 2 consonants coming together, like I would say you have A, B, C, D, right? But you don't have a vowel between the consonants. It becomes difficult to read or to pronounce. Like you can't pronounce B and C and D together. It's difficult to pronounce. Hence the reason you need a vowel to go between. All right? So that's basically how we recognize, the vowel. But if we put that, like we change that to an E, it's easy to pronounce. All right? Anyways, so what I was saying here, the reason why we have this word together with this one is to point out the difference of the functioning of the Ya. Here, the Ya, in this word, the Ya is lengthening a kasra. So what you have to remember is the Ya will only be lengthening a kasra if there is a kasra there. All right? In the absence of the kasra, how could it be lengthening? All right? That's for now. Later on, when I say later on, in the next level of Arabic, it will be different. Okay? All right? So this Ya also has a sukoon. All right? It has nothing, no vowel. All right? But normally it's not written because it is understood that it is lengthening. All right? The Ya has no vowel. All right? So whether you put it or not, it doesn't matter. Here, Ya is not a lengthener. Why? Because there is no kesra for it to lengthen. So we pronounce it, we get the sound of the Ya. Kai. Right? Kai. La. Kai la. All right? All right. I want you all to read the next word. It have lam, ya, and la. Lam, ya, and a next lam. What do we have? Lai, la. All right? Lai, la. Okay, look at this one. We have lots of letters here with 2 dots. First one is, and this one, and this one, and What will that be? Ya team. Yatim. Huh? You know that word, yatim? Have you heard that word before? Yatim. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامٍ. You have in that surah. You know which surah is that? Is it in that surah? Not in the surah. It's not in the surah. Let me see. Okay, so we have miskin, not yatim. We have miskin. All right, so you have yatim. Yatim means an orphan. All right, an orphan. Okay, the next one. We could use back the same letters, but we'll change the vowels. All right? And I keep the lam more on top of the lam. Okay, battery died. Yeah, so that's the word kilo, all right? Kilo. You know that word? It means weight, right? Like kilogram. And it could also be distance, right? Kilo. So we have kilo. The next word is what? What is the next word in your handout? Kail. Kail. And the one just above it is what? Above that same one. Kail. That one is kaila and this one is kail. It's the same word. All right? It's the same word. So it's like a test for you. Nobody will say, well, why did I write the same word twice? All right? Well, why did I write the same word twice? I was just checking on you all. Actually, it was a mistake of mine, but it worked out good. All right, the next word. We have the letter lam, and the lam here. This is the lam with a dhamma, that's lu. Wow, because there's a waw after it, so the waw is lengthening the dhamma. But if we have a fatha on the lam and a waw, that will be what? Law. Law. All right? Law means if. And if we have a next letter there, which is the next word in your handout, and an alif there, so what? La. So the whole word is what? Lawla. If not. If not. What's this word? The next word. This is, what letter is this one? Noon. And the waw has a sukoon. Now. And this letter is? Mim, right? Naum. Naum means sleep. All right? Sleep. Okay? All right. We're looking very quickly now. I'm not going to write anymore. You have the handout there and you look at it and we're reading it very fast. All right? We're looking at the 4 lines that you have in your handout, the last 4 lines. The first word has 2 letters only. Pronounce. Bika. short. B and then ka, short. Both are short vowels. Bika, bika. The next one. The ba is being lengthened, so there is a fatha that is assumed. The fatha is not written. And then second ba has no vowel, just take the sound. So that word is what? Bab. It means door. The next word. Bait. 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 Bait means a house. All right? A house. What is the next word? Call out the letters for me quickly. Balam. Balam. What word is it? Bull. 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 Next word. Next line. It's a bird. All right? Next word. Tab. Tab. It's really taba. Tab. Tab means he repented. Next word. Bat. It's like bata. Bata means he spend the night. And that's how you get the word bite. Because the place where you spend the night. All right? Bite. House. All right? Bata. Next word. Tub. Two. Tub. Two. Tub. Two. And the next word. Tubna. Tubna. All right? The next line. Kataba. Kataba. The same letters of the same word, but the same letters, but the vowels are different. What is it? Kutub. Kutub. Kataba means he wrote. Kutub means books. Books. Kutub. All right? The next word. Call out the letters quickly. Mim, kaf, ta, ba. Maktab. 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 A desk or an office. All right? Maktab. The next word. Kuntu. 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 The last line. Call out the letters quickly. Tha, ba, ta. Tha, ba, ta. Thabata. Thabata. The next word. Thawab. 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 The next word. Mathal. Mathal. And the last word. Mithlu. Mithlu. All right? All right. We're not going to go through the other words because we still have today's session to do. So I am expecting you all to be reading the handout, all right, and trying to read the words, okay? Try to read the words that we have to look back at the shadda. So you could look at the same handout, page 7, all right? Yesterday's handout, page 7, all right? We want to look back at the shadda, the sukoon and the shadda. And the reason is because our time ran out on us yesterday and I had to go through it very fast. So we have this word, which we said is what? That's min. And then this one with a fat on the noon is me and then na. So this is min, this is mi, na. And then we have the first part of it, which is this, and then this one. So we have min, na. All right? So this is min, all right? That's up to this part. And then we have no, na. So what we are noticing here is we have two ends, two noons. So the Arabs, whenever you have a word with two of the same letter, and the first one has a sukoon, they write it one time, only one time. All right? So they write it like this. Okay? And then they change this sign and including this. So it's like this. So this is the same as this. So when we want to read this, we say min and then we call the noon again. All right? There's min. So now if we have to spell it, it'll be min and then na. All right? So it's min and then na. Just like this. Min and na. Min na. Same. Okay? So I have mentioned it here. Like if the letter has a sukoon, the letter is actually saying join me. All right? So join me means join me to you. Right? And if it has the shadda, this is called shadda. That little w is called shadda. The letter is saying join me and call me again. All right? So it's easy to remember like that. Join me and call me again. So whenever you see a word that has a shadda, all right, you look at the letter and you know that the letter is twice, it's double. And the letter is saying to join me with the previous letter and call me again with whatever vowel I have. All right? Whatever vowel is there. Okay? So then we look at this word, kaf, and the lam. This is what? Kal and then la again. Kalla. And the lam here is short. It's a short vowel. La. Kalla. All right? So as I told you before, you have to be very particular when you're pronouncing Arabic. All right? Precise. Precision is very important. This one is, how do you pronounce this one? Kalla. This is la. The lam is lengthened with an alif. This one doesn't have an alif. So, kalla. And this is kalla. Kalla la yumbadhanna fil hutama. All right? Kalla. All right? So, one more. We have lam and a mim. So, you have lam. That is lamma. Short. Lamma. Okay? Lamma. And if we have the lam and the mim with the alif, it will be what? Lamma. Lamma. This is lamma and this is lamma. Okay? So, in terms of writing, there are certain rules in writing. All right? Some simple rules that you will also have to know as you're learning to read Arabic. Whenever there is a mim after the letter lam, all right, this is what happens. You go like this, all right, and you don't follow the traditional way by you're coming backwards, all right, and then you go back like that. So this little thing here, because you went backwards, that is a mim. Same thing like this, all right. This little thing here is mim, because you went the other direction. It's a simple rule of reading and writing. Simple rule of Arabic writing, sorry. All right, where when you go the other direction. All right, so you have some examples there, and you have this one from a surah that you all have memorized. The ba is double. All right. So we have to join the ta to the ba, so it becomes what? Tab. And I have to call the ba a second time. Ba. But look, there is a ta here that needs help. So the ba has to join to the ta. So it becomes what? Tab, bat. Tab. And then tabbat. Right? Tabbat. Okay? Right, so that's it for yesterday's work, and now we look at today's handout. Everybody got their handout now? Okay, so today's handout. So we have done the revision of all the letters covered so far, and we revised the sukoon and the shadda. This one is called sukoon, and the next one is called shadda. All right, the sukoon is a 0, And I told you sometimes the sukoon could also be written like this. All right? Like this or like that. Sukoon. All right? And we did some reading from the previous handout. All right. So now we're going to look at the letters for the next line. Line 2, sorry. We are looking at line 2 in session 3. Okay? So what you're going to notice now is that the letters are coming in pairs. This is the line, all right? And this is the letter dal, and this is val. All right, same shape. This one, 1/3 of it above the line and 2/3 below. All right? And this one has the same thing, same shape. All right? Same shape. They're coming in pairs. All right, the next one. And the next one there. All right, their names. Dal and val. Dal. Can you remember dal that you eat? Right? Dal. And this one, val. How is it pronounced? Tongue between your teeth. Val. Val. Say it. Val. Dal, val. Dal, val. Next one is raw. Raw. Maybe the dal ain't cook good. Eat raw. All right. Raw. All right. And this one is za. Za. So raw, za. Raw and za. Raw, za. Raw. This is wrong, like wrong. Raw. Raw, za. Okay? Seen. Yes? Yes. I'm missing the dots. As a matter of fact, I should say that the second one of the pair, right, has the dot or dots. MashaAllah. Thank you. Shukran. All right? So, raw and za. Raw, za. Then we have seen, sheen. Seen, sheen. Seen, sheen. Next one, sod, sod, dod, dod. It is said that the letter dod is so unique that it is the only sound in the Arabic language. No other languages, none of the world has this sound. How is it pronounced? The side of your tongue has to touch your upper molar teeth to the left side. Some scholars say left or right. So it's dod, dod. And it's a full mouth, dod, dod. All right? Sod, dod, sod, dod. The Arabic language is also referred to lugatul dod, the language of dod, because of the unique, all right, pronunciation of that letter. So, dal, val, ra, za, sin, shin, sod, dod. You will have to practice it. Inshallah, when we finish, then we have to sing it. Alif, ba, ta, fa, jim, ha, kha. Dal, val, ra, za, sin, shin, sod. Dod, ta, za, ain, ghain, fa, qaf. Kaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, waw, ya. Kaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, waw, ya. These are the letters of Al-Quran. Memorize them, ya ikhwan. They are only 28. Read them, learn them. Don't be late. All right. So, we have looked at these letters, and now there is, in your handout, I want you to look carefully at 6 letters. All right? There is a chart in the next page. All right? There is a chart there. And you have to remember that chart. Right? And I told you in the handout to take a mental note of this chart. You have Alif on top and you have Waw to the bottom. And between the two of them, we have two pairs, which is this one pair here, that's this pair, and the next one. All right? So we draw the lines like this. All right? These are the letters that I refer to them as selfish letters or mean. You know, we could talk about every letter of the alphabet. Every letter of the alphabet has a unique attribute or unique attributes, each letters. These are, we call them the selfish letters or, you know, the mean letters. Why? Because when you look at the way how they function in words, they don't, no letter could be attached, they don't attach themselves to any letter coming after them. But other letters could attach to them. So I describe them as they do not reach out to others, but they want others to reach out to them. All right, like some people. Right? Like some people. They don't reach out to others. So they don't reach. So you would notice in a word, okay, if you have any of these letters in that word, any letter that comes, any letter that comes after any one of these 6 letters will not be attached. Okay? And that is what you have to remember about these 6 letters. All right? Did you take a mental note? Right. Let's look now at the shapes of the letters. If there is any difference in the shape when they are being attached. So if you, we will be giving you a handout later on, maybe for the next session, where you will have a chart with the letter being in the isolated form. And then we have when in the beginning and the middle, all right, and the end. All right, the ending of the word. So let's say the letter dal by herself is just like that. In the beginning of the word is the same thing. In the middle of the word is the same thing. All of them, they are the same. Let me write this one time. All of them are the same. The only difference is the attachment line, which confuses the beginners, the people who are now learning to read Arabic. All right? Only that line that comes before. So normally, most of the books that are written, they don't highlight it like this. So they will write the dal like this. All right? So it becomes confusing for this. Confusing, I mean, it's difficult for the student to remember. All right? So this one letter looks like this, and sometimes it looks like this, and so on. The same color. But if you could identify with the attachment line, separating the attachment line, that will remove the confusion. All right? So dal and dhal would be the same thing. For your handout, I only wrote like one of each pair, only one letter. So whatever happens to one is the same thing that will be for the second one in the pair. All right? So for the raw, all right, the raw, which is the next letter, all right, isolated, we already know it. The beginning is the same. And the middle, we just have, again, the attachment line, which goes right here. Remember the part that is above the line? I told you 1/3 is above the line, so it's right here. All right? And that's raw, the letter raw. For the letters sin and shin, all we need is the head. That's what we're going to maintain. All right? So sin and shin, We're taking away this part here. And that's seen and sheen. And then we are ready to attach to the next letter with the attachment line. Okay? It's the attachment line here. And if there is a letter before, all right, it will be like this. All right? Attachment line here. Okay? So before and after. Here, for these, remember, they are the 6 letters, the mean letter. They don't reach out to others. So if there is a next letter after any one of them, it will be written separately. All right? Separately. But you have to keep the letters together, close to each other. They're like one family. They belong to one family, but they're keeping the distance. They're not reaching out to the other members of the family. Right? So you could have, let's say, for example, you have a word. Let's say we have this word, dal plus alif plus ra. All right? So we have dal, which is there. It's one of the 6 letters. And after it is alif. So we cannot attach the alif to it. You have to leave a space. Like that. So that's da, and then the ra. So it's dar. Dar means a house. A house. Okay? And then, if you have another word, we have alif, we have a ra, and an alif, and a dal. So we have the alif here, and after that is the ra. Notice the alif is one of the 6 letters, so it cannot be attached. Even though the ra can allow attachment here, all right, but the alif cannot go, so there is no need for the attachment line. All right, so it's just like that. And then after the ra is an alif, and after that is the dal. So they're all separated. Arada. All right, it's mentioned in the Quran. Arada. And so on. All right, so you could have a word, okay, one word with letters, and they do not allow attachment. Okay, we move now to the next letter, the sod and dod. All right, so we understand how the letters are joined. And if the letter sheen, seen, and sheen are the end of the word, all right, you will just have the letter coming back to its original shape, okay, because it's kind of closing off the word, so it goes completely. All right? So let's say, for example, you have the word like that. All right? We have shams. Shams. All right? Shams. Shams means sun. All right? So you notice in the beginning, it's like this, like this. The beginning of the word to be like this, right? There's no letter before it. And then the meme. And then the scene. Nothing coming after the seam, so it comes back to its original form. Okay? Yes. We're moving on now to the letter sod and dod. Sod and dod. We're just taking the head of the sod, which is this. But you have to cross the beginning part and go up a little bit. All right, that's sod. If it comes down like this, it's not a problem. Sod. Anything beyond that will be the attachment line. All right, so it goes like that. We're not focusing too much on writing because it's not a writing course, it's a reading course. But you have to recognize the letter. All right, it's sod. So what had actually happened there is that this part that went below the line is taken off and it remains on top of the line. All right, on top of the line. So you have sod and bod. Okay, so now you have the exercise. You have an exercise on page 9. And I want to read a few of those words, not all of them. We're going to read just a few of them. Notice the first word. The first word, the letters are separated. They're all separated from each other. Right? So could you kindly call out the names of the letters, the 3 letters there? Dal, Ra, Sin. So how do you pronounce that word? Darasa. Darasa. Okay? Okay. What is the last word in that line? Call out the letters for me. Za, Waw, Jim, Kaf. Okay. The first part of the word, how do you pronounce it? The 2 letters. Zaw. Zaw. And the next letter? The next letter. Ju. Jim Dhamma. Ju. So it's Zaw, Ju. And the last letter? Kaf. So the word is Zaw, Juka. Right? Zaw, Juka means your spouse. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Adam alayhi salam, Ya Adam, uskun anta wa zawjuka al-jannah. All right, dwell you and your spouse in Jannah. The word zawj could mean wife, and it could also mean husband. All right? So it means spouse. All right, the next line, the first word. Call out the letters to me quickly. Sin, Lam, Alif, Mim. What word is it? Salam. Salam. You know that word salam in any surah? Salamun hiya hatta matla' al-fajr. All right, the next word. Call out the letters quickly. Sheen, Ra, Alif, Ba. Supposing we had a fatha on the sheen. Huh? Sharab. Sharab. Put in a fatha. Put in a fatha on the sheen. Right? Sharab means a drink. A drink. Okay. Then the next word. Saw. They say have the letter sod here, but an alif. So it's lengthened. It's what? Saw. Saw. And then ba kasra is what? B. Short. Saw B. And then the ra, and the ra is lengthened with the waw. So it is what? Ru. Ru. And the noon. Put a fatha on the noon. What word is it? Sabiruna. Sabiruna. All right? Sabirun. And the last word. Let me see if we could read that word. Dalin. All right? Dalin. Even though it didn't have the kasra for the lam, you have to assume there is a kasra there. All right? All right. So I want you all, inshallah, to practice those words, and inshallah, we will be on our way to complete today's session. Now, so we already know this letter. right? What is it? Noon. So the letter noon is spelt like this. Right? This is noon. Noon. So this is noon, right? Same. And then there is a derivative. See if you could call out the letters to me first. First letter is what? Ta, noon, wow, ya, noon. So this word is what is it? Tanwin. All right, so we're going to write back this word again. Can you see the noon there? Same thing, right? So this was an additional letter here. And this here was an additional letter. So tanwin. So tanwin is what really is the verbal noun. All right, from the word nawwana, which is to make a noon sound, basically. To get a noon sound. Right? Or to produce a noon sound, an N sound. Okay, so it's a very simple rule. If you have the letter, any letter, all right, with any one of the vowels, we're looking at the three short vowels. All right, so we have this, that's ku. Kaf Dhamma is ku. All right, but if we have the kaf with a double, all right, double Dhamma, you get the N sound. So it's what? Kun. Kun. All right? So whether it is this Tanwin Dhamma, or we have, let's say for example, that's B, and we have a double Kasra. So it's called Tanwin Kasra. It's Tanwin Dhamma. This here is Tanwin Dhamma, it's 2. And Tanwin Kasra is double. We get the N sound. Right? The N. N sound. There's bin. So this is B, and this one is bin. B, bin. And then, any letter of the alphabet. Say, for example, we have the letter Ya. And we have Fatha. That's Ya. And if we have Tanwin Fatha, we have Ya with the Alif. All right? So it's Yan. All right? That's a rule of writing. It's a grammatical rule. When the reader sees the extra Alif, he already knows it's Tanwin Fatha. Because remember, when you're reading Arabic without vowels, you will have to determine Tanwin. You must know that Tanwin comes at the end of a word. You will always notice Tanwin comes at the end of a word. When you're reading the Quran, inshallah, you will see Tanwin only coming at the end of a word. Tanwin cannot come at the beginning, neither at the middle, only at the end. So for people who are reading Arabic without vowels, all right, they would see it like this. So they will already know it is Tanwin Fatha, because the other two, Tanwin Dhamma and Tanwin Kasra, doesn't have the extra Alif. This is a form of ease for the reader to decipher all the rules of the Arabic grammar. All right, because basically there are 6 reasons why the noun will take a Tanwin Dhamma or a Dhamma, right? It's called the nominative case, and then there will be like 2 or 3 reasons why it is in the genitive case, and there are 11 reasons why it is in the accusative case or the objective case. All right, so all that is Arabic grammar, which you all don't need to know right now. All right, so Tanwin, all right, Tanwin basically is the production, all right, of an end song. Okay? End song or a noon song. How long again we have? Five minutes? Okay. So we have enough time to read a few words with the Tanwin. Call out the letters quickly for me. What is it? Kitabun. Right? Kitabun anzalnahu. Right? Kitabun, a book. All right? What about this word? What letter is this? Lam. This one. Ha. This one. Ba. So how do you pronounce it? La, ha, bin. Laha bin. Tabbat yada abi. Laha bin. We say bin, right? That is the rules of recitation. It's laha bin. And then there's a waw after. That's the next science of reading, which is called tajweed. We are not doing tajweed. All right? So you have kitabun, you have lahabin, and you have the next word is what? Sayasla na, and you have run. Right? Run. Na, and then ra, an, right? Run. Na run. Right? Naran means fire. Fire. Okay, let's look now at another rule quickly as the time is moving very fast. We have two types of alif. So we have alif, two kinds. There are two types of alif. The one that you know here already. And there is another one that looks just like a ya, but no dots. No dots. All right? This one, it comes in any part of the word, the beginning part of the word, or the middle part, all right, or in the ending part. You have examples in your handout. You would notice the occurrence of the alif, all right? The way I have copied also made a copy for you, I have allowed enough space for you on both sides of the paper. You have, wide margin to make your personal notes, all right, on each part we are discussing. All right, if you want to put some additional notes, you can write it in. So what you have to know about the alif, alif lengthens a fatha sound, right? You know that. Alif lengthens the fatha sound. So we go ah. So anytime you see the alif, as long as alif, you go ah, right? So far, so far. So this one here is in the beginning of a word or the middle of a word or the ending of a word. If it's in the beginning of a word, it has certain rules to go with it. Anyway, this one here that looks like the ya, but make sure it has no dots. It comes only at the end of a word. End. All right? Only at the end of a word. The word could be a verb, it could be a noun, it could be a pronoun. All right? It could be a preposition and so on, different parts of speech. All right? So it's like that. A particle. So it has no dots. Two types of alif. One in that and one like that. And just like the alif, we have two types of ya. All right? In your reading, you will see also two types of ta. One is the open ta, which we already know about. That's that one. And the next one is the closed-up ta. It's like this. All right? It could also be written like this without it crossing each other. Or it could also be written like this in the attached form. All right? That's ta. Okay? They have Arabic names. It's like ta maftuha and ta marbuta. All right? Marbuta means tied up or closed up. Ta. All right? This one here comes only at the end of a word. Okay? At the end, this one comes beginning, middle, end. This one only comes at the end. All right? It's one of the signs of identifying a feminine noun in most cases, in 99% cases. All right? It's also, so you could just learn. What you have to remember is it's a ta. 2 dots above, it looks like this. It comes at the end of a word, right? It's ta. All right? And you have examples of both of them. All right? So what have you learned today? You have learned 8 letters. I have erased them. You have learned not 7 today, but you have learned 8. And the reason why 8 is because I didn't want to break the pair. That's one reason. And a second reason, we have to talk about the extra letter, which we said it could be 29 letters of the alphabet instead of 28. So for the next class, we'll still have to deal with 7 more. All right? And we have learned about these selfish letters, the 6 letters. They don't reach out to other letters. We have learned about Tanwin, and you have learned the 2 types of Alif and the 2 types of Tas. And you have exercises for each rule that was explained. The majority of words are from the Quran, and we did also the revision of the lessons. All right? And that brings us to the end of today's class. Do you have any questions before we go? No questions? All right, so if you have any questions, you could also send me a WhatsApp message to my phone, right? Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.